Hello brothers and sisters, and welcome to my new sub-series, Expose of Bob. So, I just want to get into how I first met Bob and what my early experiences were with him like at Speaker's Corner. So, for the last few years, I've been watching loads of videos of Speaker's Corner, and in particular, I've been watching this amazing, courageous woman called Hatun Tash, who is an ex-Muslim, now Christian, convert. I was watching so many of her videos when she was going to Speaker's Corner and preaching to Muslims, and it really inspired me to go down there one day and actually speak to her. Long story short, she received many threats and she's been physically assaulted and nearly killed by Muslims over the park. And I just wanted to, go over there and support her physically. But unfortunately, I could never get down there because obviously life gets in the way, as you know, brothers and sisters. So what I did is I thought to myself, I need to get a chance to go down there. So eventually last year, I finally visited Speaker's Corner with a friend of mine. And it was such a great time, And on that particular day, they were hosting what was called a Christian revival event. This was on the 9th of June last year. Many of you might have seen it. And I thought, this sounds really good. Hopefully, we'll be on a more even playing field with the Muslims. Because as recent years, Speaker's Corner has been taken over by Muslims. It's now called, jokingly, Sharia Corner because of the amount of Muslims that are there outweighing the Christian presence, which is, very disturbing. This has been a latest trend. But basically, I was there to support the Christians, and I had no idea who Bob was at that time. I'd heard about him, and when I went over there, I saw Bob, and I thought, you know what, he actually really impressed me with his knowledge of the Quran and Islam in general. I mean, he was just literally exposing them left, right and centre on things such as Allah, who Allah really is, how much of an idiot Allah is, obviously child marriage condone, child marriage acceptance. There were a myriad of things that he was exposing and detailing, and he was bringing up the fiqh, the Islamic law. He was bringing up loads of things, and I started watching a few videos of him on YouTube, and I thought, wow, this guy is really knowledgeable about Islam. So it really impressed me, and I met Nick Tenconi on that day as well, which I'll get into another video. But as I've gone over to Speaker's Corner and gone many, many times over the last year, I've realised that Bob is has very, very strange beliefs on Christianity. The more I started going there, I encountered a few other people, two of which are called Jono and Amy, who run a channel called Apologetics London on YouTube. Go and check them out. They're very knowledgeable in the Bible, these guys, and they're true Christians. Now, while I was there at the event last year, Jono was there, who I didn't know was Jono at the time, and he started protesting against Bob and saying, this is Catholicism what you're preaching, this is Catholicism. And I heard it, and I thought to myself, I'm going to store that in my brain. I wonder what they're talking about. And I had no idea, because I had no idea to the background of all of these things. So I obviously did my research because I'm a very inquisitive person, and I found out to my dismay that Bob is clearly not a Christian. He supports an evolutionary view of the Bible, which is not Christian, because I'm a creationist, We were created unique and individual from the animals. We do not descend from animals, because it clearly states in Genesis that we are separate species, We are not from the same species. It's crazy. He believes in sperm cell organisms, something that does not align itself with the Bible. This is what I was starting to learn at the very, very beginning of my encounters with Bob. I learnt that he preaches ecumenism, which I didn't actually fully know what that was until I understood that what it basically means is a uniting of all the churches. So bear that in mind, brothers and sisters. Bob wants to unite every kind of church in Christendom, asterisk on Christendom. So that would include Jehovah's Witnesses, who we know are non-Trinitarian, Mormons, non-Trinitarian, Pentecostals, not Christian, as they preach, a gifts kind of prosperity gospel, not Christian. So he wants to unite all these different branches of so-called Christianity that are actually not Christian, and he wants to join forces with them, in his words, to begin a new crusade and to combat the Muslim presence, the Muslim presence. So, in this country. That is basically his agenda, and he's outlined that. But I do not want, let me tell you, brothers and sisters, a theocracy. I certainly do not want a Catholic theocracy. And once I learned what Bob was actually teaching about Christianity last year, that's when I started to wake up about him. And now, brothers and sisters, this series will feature a lot of other stuff that I haven't covered about Bob in the preceding episodes. But I just want to give you some background to this series and just show you a bit of an insight into who Bob really is. And you know what? Bob's a very, very arrogant person. He believes he's right on all these things, as anyone does. You know, I mean, after all, Bob is getting paid to do this. People do not know this, but Bob is actually getting paid. He has a salary. And I know that's very unchristian. All of you will be dismayed to hear this because, as we know, Jesus never made money from what he did. The apostles never made money for what he did, and we are supposed to imitate him. So therefore, you should not be receiving money from God, you know. He's making money of God's name. He's making God unauthentic. That's what he's doing. And it's causing a bad image from our religion. And Christianity isn't even a religion. But anyway, those are my early experiences with Bob. And now I've come to the conclusion that Bob is not a Christian because he espouses a lot of very Catholic ideas, you know, including a work-based salvation, which is a no-no, you know, for me. That is the red line for me. When it comes to soteriology, the study of salvation, if you get salvation wrong, then that's very dangerous for yourself and for other people that have been influenced by you. And because Bob is a very influential person, it's very necessary to create a series like this to expose him. So, brothers and sisters, I hope that you enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you in the next one. God bless you all.